Hello and welcome back to a brand new series of Getting Lippy, the home of entertainment and showbiz news, brought to you by Slingo. I'm Emma Coney-Bear and we have got a show for you. And joining me on the show today, we've got Kelsey Parker. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And we've got a journalist, Millie from Bauer Media. How are you?
I'm good. My first podcast, so I'm very excited.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm very surprised. Like news and all of that is all on podcasts now, right?
I know. I think journalists don't tend to be the voices on it, though. We're probably the ones writing about them.
True, but you are the one with the knowledge, especially
we'll
when it comes
find
to
out.
that. We'll find out. How's your Easter's been?
Yeah, good.
I know it's literally just been a flash ago, but it's, do you have a nice time?
Yeah, I mean, I've had the kids off for like 3.5 weeks, so... yeah,
Really?
it's been a lot. We went on holiday, that was great, but I feel like the last 2 weeks have been...
That's it. Just
Yeah.
counting down the days to go back to school.
Yeah, but I do like, when they do go back to school, you then miss them.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's nice having the break of like actually the school runs, the whole just being a mum really. So it's been lovely. It's been a nice break for me too.
Do you have to like always think of different things to entertain them throughout like the holidays and stuff?
Yeah, but you know what? I try to like minimise what we're actually doing because I think that you can just give. So we try and do like stuff around the house and
Cleaning.
go out. Yeah, clean your bedrooms.
Oh.
Yeah, I try and do, not lavish stuff. And they went on holiday for
Yeah, fair.
a lovely time. So
Join the fun on Slingo, your official site for Slingo games. Enjoy a £50 welcome bonus and get access to over 6,000 vibrant casino games. Gamble responsibly and take advantage of Slingo's safer gambling tools. Age 25 and over, be gamble aware. For more information, visit begambleaware.org. I remember back in the day where it's just like, my mum used to be like, the sun used to be out. Right, go make yourself scarce in the back garden. Go and do something, entertain yourselves. Like that's the sort of parenting we should like go back to. Entertain yourself in the back garden.
yeah, now I think there's so much though, isn't there? With like so many different play villages to go to and soft plays and swimming and bowling and there is just so much.
And it's expensive as well.
Yeah, and we're just
Really
throwing it, aren't we?
expensive,
We're throwing it all the time on Instagram and what other people are doing.
Do you think that's
Do you know
it?
what someone even messaged me about? I did an Easter egg hunt, but literally I got like little Lindt chocolate because I limit how much even chocolate they have, and just put them around the garden. Someone actually messaged me saying, thank you so much for doing that because you actually brought it back to reality because you see on Easter Sunday, these kids wake up and they've got like boxes of chocolates and everything they can possibly imagine, drink bottles, this, that, whereas we just did. And my kids were so happy with that. They actually just enjoyed.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Like I actually, in all fairness, I did see a girl and for her children, they bought them presents, wrapped it up. And I was like, is this another Christmas? Like, what?
I feel like it's becoming a bit like that, though, isn't it? You know, like Christmas roundups, and it's like taking photos of all the presents, and now it's here's all the Easter eggs, and there's presents, but it's taking it back to basics with an Easter egg hunt. I think that's what people want to see.
love that.
Yeah, and they said thank you for doing that because I've got my grandkids coming over and that's all I've done for my grandkids and you've made me feel better about myself.
Like we had my nephews over at the weekend and like my mum and dad, like that's what they do. They just put little chocolates in the garden. Did you find them all though? Because there's always one Easter egg that you can never find.
Yeah, no, we did.
You got them all?
Yeah, and what we did is we paired them up as well. So they both had one. Whatever area it was in, there was two waiting. And I mean, they were tiny. We just did like the little...
That's a good shout. Yeah, I always remember there's always eggs that get lost. My sister, she said that there was a story once before, whereas her husband, so their side of the family, there was always this one egg that got lost, right? And no one ever found it. Anyway, it ended up being in, he's called Keith, and it was in his like bar at the end of the garden. You know how sometimes you can get those fishes that move on that board, you remember? Like, and you press the button and the fish moves?
Yeah.
You do know where I am. Okay, I'm not talking
about.
about Yeah, well, they shoved one in there. Anyways, that egg is still in there to this day, and no one's allowed to touch it because it's been there for about like 4 years already. But it's just, I love that. A bit of nostalgia for you. And I think we do need to bring it back to like, I think we had such a good childhood because we didn't have all these amazing things. It was very much ride your bike up and down the street. You love that.
Yeah. I used to live on the same street as my nan. So I used to ring my nan and say, come out your house. I'm going to rollerblade up to your house.
Yeah,
and then rollerblade up to my nan's and then back and whatever. So she'd watch me.
Gosh, yeah. There's actually, like in London, there's some streets now where you can actually like close off for kids to play up and down the street. But how amazing is that?
You don't see kids playing out anymore though, do you?
You don't.
But is it because we know so much now? Are we fed too much information that there's this fear and worry about actually letting your children out?
Yeah, that is true. I mean, like I said, I looked after my nephews at the weekend and I saw how high one of them was on the swing. Can't watch that. I'm getting anxiety. So God forbid what I'm going to be like when I actually have a child. I'll be like one of these nervous wrecks. Oh my God, I almost killed the kid twice today.
But I think when they are your own, you don't feel like that because you know what they're capable of doing.
Okay, thank God, Jesus, because the fear I had that weekend, I was like, I don't know if I could do this.
My old brother's like, oh, why are you letting them do that? I'm like, but I know what they can do and what they can't do.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations
Thank
anyways.
you.
On your pregnancy. You're going to go through it again.
I know. Am I mad? I am mad.
No. I think 3's a good number. I've got an older and younger sister.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Who's the middle child of yours?
My little boy, Bodhi.
Oh, he's going to be amazing. Middle childs are the best.
For the first time then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you feel like all your different pregnancies are different?
Yes, they've been very different. Well, Aurelia, I had preeclampsia.
Oh, God.
So I was really ill and I was so swollen and I looked like Princess Fiona when she's the Olga. Like, I looked terrible. And then obviously with Bodhi, Tom was diagnosed when I was 35 weeks pregnant. So I was even saying about it today that I don't really remember Bodhi's pregnancy, or even having him and what it was like. I was watching videos of when I brought him home and Aurelia coming in, and I've forgotten all that because it was such a stressful time for me.
It's trauma, isn't it?
I think your brain does
it does.
It protects you because it's so traumatic. And the word triggering, isn't it?
It is. But this one is different. Any morning sickness or anything like that? Weird cravings?
I did have morning sickness till about 14 weeks and I was bad, and then all of a sudden it does just go.
Really?
And I was so hungry.
They don't really say it's just morning sickness. It's like literally all throughout the day, right?
And you just feel like
smells and all of that.
A bag of shit. Like, I just felt horrendous. And I didn't tell anyone either.
Yeah.
So only like Will knew, and I was going out with my friends and I wanted to eat loads. I'm quite like controlled with my eating, and you know, I try and eat well. I'd literally be out and going, let's just order some food. Should we get something to eat? I think everyone just lapped it up and was like, she wants to eat. What's going on?
So you don't know the gender?
No.
And you're not going to know the gender?
No, because I've got the results in an email and people cannot believe. I see people all the time, they're like, have you opened the letter? Have you opened the email? I'm like, no. What?
Sorry, so you've got an email sat there.
And with the gender.
And you've not even been tempted to open it?
No.
I mean, that's really good willpower.
Yeah, but Aurelia wants a little girl and Bodhi wants a little boy. So I'm like, why don't we just wait until baby's here now?
And you're not going to do it?
Yeah.
If you did say you did a gender reveal party, which there's been many amazing gender reveal or really terrible gender reveals, like you've seen like balloons flying off and all of that. Would you do a gender reveal? And if so, what sort of gender reveal would you do?
I don't know. Everyone does the cake now, don't they? Yeah. The glass and the cake. I don't really know. I think because we're not going to find out. I've not really even thought that. But I think that the kids would have given a great reaction. Like, Aurelia would, like, if it's a boy, she's going to storm off. She'd cry.
Oh,
like,
no.
She would give the reaction. She wouldn't be like, oh, blue. She'd be like, no.
But what if, like, you know, you give birth and everything like that, and she has it then. It's like you've extended it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a baby. Oh, it's a boy. Okay. Bye.
I just think when the baby's here, they'll just be a bit more like go with the the flow. But
are they really excited?
They're very excited. They just want it to come now. They're like, when's the baby actually coming? I'm like, you just need to chill out. We've got a little bit of time.
Oh, that's cute.
But you've actually got to tell them, because obviously I was getting bigger, so it's like I had to tell them that I was having a baby, but it's such a long time for them to wait.
Yeah. Do you feel like little kids, they understand a lot more than they kind of,
loads more than what people expect. Even how people talk to their children, I think.
Yeah, they listen all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
They really do, even though that they're preoccupied doing things like on their PlayStation or whatever. Oh, they're not stupid. They can hear absolutely everything.
Apart from their name when you want them to actually do something.
That's selective hearing at its finest. I mean, they've been through a fair bit. How did they deal with the passing?
I think they're still dealing with it now.
Yeah.
And obviously for them, their lives are changing so much that, you know, Will's a massive part of their life now, and they've lost their dad, but they almost feel like they've gained someone in their life. But I just think for them, their grief and their grief journey is going to be forever. I don't think that's ever going to go away. And I think that's what's really hard with people that make judgment. It's like, we're living with this for the rest of our lives. Like, look at when Aurelia gets married, or, you know, when Bodhi wants a bit of advice from his dad. Like, they're always going to have to live with the fact that their dad's... No, they was even saying this morning, they was like, we've got lots of dads though, haven't we? Like, they try and deal with their grief.
I think they say that, don't they? That their brains aren't developed up to a certain age. I think it's like, I don't know what, like, I think for boys it's 40. No, I'm joking.
50.
No, I know, I think it is. Never. Like, because my brother-in-law, he works in CAMS and stuff, and they say that, you know, like kids when they're younger and they deal with the sort of trauma, like, they deal with it well if they have that good healing process and they've got a good support system around them. It does help. But if they don't have that sort of support and all of that when they're younger, then that's when they do have like trouble later on.
Yeah, because they're having to deal with it some way.
Yeah.
But we're very open. I'm never like, no, we're not talking about your dad. Like, we talk about Tom all the time. And I think
beautiful.
I think people think, oh, you're an exaggerator. Honestly, we talk about him every day.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a day that goes by or something happens.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Did you ever because I remember my nanny passed away when I was very, very young. And my mum was very, very young when I think my mum was like 28 or something like that. So I was only like 3 or something. So I was very young when my mum went through that whole process there. But all I remember is there was this book, The Dragonfly. Did you ever have that?
The kids have got that. But
it's beautiful.
See, I would like to work on a book because I don't feel like there is a children's book that explains it. Like, there's the invisible string, and then there's that one, which is great because obviously it's saying that you can't come back down to the pond. Like, when you leave the pond, you're up and you've gone. But that's quite a lot for them to understand. Like, I found that with the books, there's nothing that really tells them that, because I was very straight and I think people have been quite shocked, but I said to them when Tom died, Daddy's gone and he's never coming back. We won't see him ever again. Like, I was very like blunt. When you're dead, you're dead. Yeah. Because I think that they need to understand that, and it's such a heavy topic, but the books don't really. They're quite like, you've got the connection to that person. Yeah. Yes, you do have the connection with that person, but it's how much you're connected. You're not going to see him again. That's what needs to be explained.
Yeah, that does make sense. No, I remember I kept on asking, like, where's Nanny and all of this? Whereas you kind of go through it all, but it still stays with you now. Like, I mean, like I said, I was very, very young, but yeah. But I mean, grief, everybody deals with grief. And I think people deal with grief in their own sort of way. Like, what would say the best recommendation for people which are going through like that?
I think grief is an individual experience, and it's how you deal with grief, because there's been a lot of judgment with how I've dealt with it, but it's like, this is how I am coping. Yeah. Like, some people, and obviously I've been on this journey and we've lost a lot on the way of people that I've met that have got brain tumours and other wives that have lost partners. Yeah. And, you know, some choose to stay in their pyjamas and not get dressed and not get out of bed. Like, if that works for you, then that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't actually do that because I had an 18-month-old baby and a 2.5-year-old that needed me. So I didn't have that choice. I had to get out of bed and get on with it. But they were my saving grace. Yeah. 100%. Like, I'm so lucky that I had them because they got me through each day. Yeah. And it was like, right, what do they need? What are their needs?
You become like the protector, the provider and all of that. But
everything in one.
Yeah, it's exceptionally hard what you went through. And you are so strong as a woman. You really are. But great news. You've got Will in your life.
Yes.
How did you meet? Like, was it really hard to start dating again after something?
Well, yeah, I think the world's changed. I met Tom when I was 19. Oh. So I was with Tom a very long time. Yeah. And obviously when I was 19, we didn't have all the dating apps and everything.
I like back then. I really do. When you went out into bars and Weatherspoons and places like that, and somebody was like, "You're fit. Do you want to go for a drink?" You're like, "Yeah, wicked." Or you come home from a night out, you'd be like, snogged about 3 boys. Now they don't come near you because they're scared.
But why? Why do you think this is?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think there's a lot of things in play. Like, I have this discussion with my therapist all the time, right? And he must love my stories, I swear to God. Because there was one time, there was this guy, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Yeah. So this guy asked me out on a date. It was a second date. And okay, this is going to be a bit of a hot topic, but he invited me out. He decided the restaurant and all of this. And then we had a nice time. There was a couple of little throughout, but I was like, whatever. Came to the bill, right? And I was like just being polite. Okay. Oh, what would you like to do? Did you want to split it? He goes, yeah. And I was like, so I got really offended by that. But my therapist was trying to like calm me down to be like, yeah, but Emma, like, things have changed now. No, but I was like, no!
He's called it on as well. That would be like not putting effort in. I feel like that he should pay the bill. Like,
yeah, I also think it's the stance that people take on it. Like, I know that there are some like boys in my friendship group that will go, oh my God, I would never dream of not offering to pay. But yet others are like, oh, actually, things have moved on and I would expect it to split. And I think, I'd say I'm quite old school.
Same.
Yeah, and also, I just think he's called the date on. He's called the date. He's picked where he's going. If I knew I was splitting the bill, I'd be like, let's go Nando's.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right? Okay. It was all right. Like, you could pay for it. But what if I couldn't? Like, how awkward would that be? But anyways, at least
he's just ordered the £200 wine. Yeah, we're splitting that. Sorry, we're not. No. I'm out of it.
Yeah, but I think that my therapist was trying to like epitomise, like, this is what it's like. This is what it could be like. I was like, whoa, no, I'm not. No. Like, I want the guy to kind of come up to you, like, to message you first. And, like, doesn't mean it needs to be a power play and it's always going to be that way, because I'm very, like, kind of fair in a relationship. You pay this time, I pay next time. Yeah. Absolutely fine. And also, I'm the sort of person that, somebody opens the door and then smacks your bum on the way out. Like, I like a bit of that. Oh. But now, now it'll be like sexual harassment, Like, people wolf whistling down the street. I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, some people are like, don't do that.
It makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Thank you. Maybe I'm just not a feminist at all here, but no.
But I feel like, again, it comes back to different stances. Oh, I've just knocked the mic. It comes back to different stances. So sometimes I think it has gone very much the other way, where it's like, oh, that's crossed the line. Whereas there are some people, it's different people's boundaries as well, isn't it? Like, if you like that, but that side of it's not really talked about now. It's very much like, oh, that's too much. You'll cross the boundary. But yeah, sometimes it's just that.
Oh, I feel like all women do love the attention. Like, if you've put a nice outfit on, you've walked down the street and you're getting wolf whistled, you think, well, I've smashed it today.
Thank you.
I definitely agree. But I think that was my whole worry, because the world has changed so much. Like, it was a bit like Bridget Jones, and this is what did make me laugh, because Bridget Jones was like, all her friends were behind her going, get on the apps, get yourself out there. Yeah. Whereas I had so much judgment online about being out there. But the dating apps scared me.
What? Did you try it?
No.
Did you test it? You didn't even
test it?
No, I
did have a few journalists that were going to me, why don't you get onto Raya? I was like, I've been on there, and not on my personal. I went on a friend's, and I was like, No, it's so again. It's the judgment of you got to have the good picture.
Yeah,
you've got to look like 10 out of 10.
Oh, it's it's all lies,
it's just
though,
a lot,
it?
and I just wanted to meet someone authentically.
I had to look at my friends on Raya before, because I looked at my friends because she was like getting loads of dates off of Raya. I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? She was like,
did she not look like a picture?
No, she did, but she almost had like a strategy, right? It was like, well, you need to have a face shot. That could be your first one. The second one, have a bit of flesh, like a bikini shot or something like that. I was like, right. And it was like, have a normal shot, you walking or something in the countryside. And I was like, fucking hell, there's so much going into this sort of portfolio of just trying. But yeah, Raya's terrible in the sense that the prices has gone up now. It's something like £18 a month. I'm not on it. Like, I always text around. I'm like, what's it saying on there before I even commit to it? It's like £18 a month, and then when you're on there, like, you get given people from like Australia. I was like, mate, like, I wouldn't date somebody south of the river, let alone Australia.
Yeah. Why not south of the river?
Because I'm north of the river.
Well, that's a good answer.
That's the only reason why I'm north of the river.
That's where you're going wrong. You need to come south.
I know.
There's plenty of...
Like around the Battersea area is quite nice. I think that's my sort of demographic. It's like older. But, where I am at the moment, it's more like families. So, yeah. But,
you need to move.
So, yeah, how did you meet Will?
We just met on a night out. It was actually like quite authentic.
Friends of friends, or was it?
Weirdly.
Yeah.
No, but actually the more we've discovered it is just, I feel like sometimes you are meant to meet people in this life, and I don't know why and how, but my mum used to, this is a bit of an exclusive you guys are getting. My mum used to babysit for Will's auntie.
Oh, wow. Don't they say something like, it's like the points of connection, like you're connected like 9. Oh, there's something
and even
there.
We were speaking about obviously going to my nan's house.
Yeah.
Will's auntie will be his great auntie.
Yeah.
And my nan live like a few doors from each other. But Will's not from my area. He's from he's from somewhere else, not too far away, like 40 minutes up the road. I was like, this is so weird.
But I do believe that.
I believe that you're meant to, I posted the other day that you're meant to meet people. It's not a coincidence. People are given to you for a reason.
I do believe that. And I think I went through just such a shit time with all guys, and then all of a sudden I went, I'm just not going to date. Like, I'm having a breather. And then when you meet somebody, you just go, oh, this one feels like normal. I was like, there's no anxiety. I mean, it's very early days, but
did he pay for the bill?
Very normal, very, very normal, and very, very calm. Like, no spikes in anxiety or any triggers like that. But anyways, we might have to cut that out in case it breaks up before this air.
You've got 2 weeks. You've got 2 weeks on that one.
You've got 2 weeks on that. I'll give you updates. No, I'm joking.
I think for me as well, you might be even asking me this, but I think with Will that he's coming into a big, massive. Not, is it a situation? What's the best thing to like? We've got a lot going on with. Yeah. The kids have lost their dad. You've got, I'm a widow. It's, know, and that's also what I was finding. I went out. I'll talk about this one story. That I went out on the 16th of December. So this was a little while ago, like a few 16th Decembers ago. And my friend's like, you need to put yourself back out there, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay. And I know the date because I never, ever go out. Went to this bar, started talking to this guy. It was quite nice, whatever. So I was with 2 other friends. It came out that that Holly was getting married, Kelsey was married, and I was a widow. Honestly, no word of a lie, the guy was stood there talking to me. He turned his back on me, and I was like, and I tapped him on the shoulder and I went, it's all right, I didn't kill him. Because I was like, this is...
That's mad.
This is so awkward. Yeah. Like, so that just put me off as well. Yeah. I'm like, I come with so much baggage. Like,
yeah, but I think everybody has a certain level of baggage at a certain age. Yeah. It really, really does.
Also, I feel like if I was divorced, it's a bit like I could be a complete bitch and be divorced. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, me and Tom have had to go different ways for different reasons. He's
Yeah.
died. Like, he's not here anymore. We still love each other, but he's just not here.
Yeah.
So it was just so weird. And I was like to my friends, right, that's it. I'm done.
I think that's just so rude above all else.
Yeah, it was quite rude.
This is men at the moment for you.
Just turning around with not even like, not that it would have been, I think this wouldn't have been okay. Even if you said, okay, that's a circumstance that I don't really feel ready to, but the fact he just turned away.
And my friends were there to actually witness it. So it wasn't like I just said, oh, he's just blanked me. It was like,
God.
no, he actually just turned away because he was like, I was like, yeah, I'm a widow. Oh, bye.
I can't believe that.
With 2 kids that are this age.
Throw that in as
Yeah.
well. Oh yeah, but I think going back to men at the moment, and I don't want to put them all in the same pigeonhole, but I just think some just need a little bit more maturing. I think it's all of a sudden, I think COVID was the biggest issue. I think it trapped a lot of people, and then it gave a load of people freedom, and a lot of people broke up, and some people wanted to, I don't know. And then all of a sudden after COVID, they just went wild. Like, there was I think that was probably the worst time to ever date somebody straight after COVID, because they had all this freedom. They wanted to go places. To try and pin anybody down was like, no one's doing it to me. And we went back into COVID again. Oh, don't.
I think COVID has got a lot to play with a lot of things. I think it's made people very selfish.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to go out. I don't feel like people make the effort anymore for like nights
This is
out
it.
and
This is
meeting up and
like even to the point of like back in the day, God, I used to go out to clubs all the time in London. Like, someone, do you want to go to club? No. But maybe because I'm older now, like, to go to a club. But even when I was talking to, like, my cousin that's at university, I was like, oh, do you go out and stuff? Oh, no, they don't go out. They don't club.
So,
like, what do you do?
My brothers are 18, 20, and my cousin's like 21 and 23.
Yeah.
Only really the 21-year-old goes out. Like, the rest of them, they'll be like, oh, thanks, Kelsey, for this. But, like, to what I went out.
Yeah.
And what, like, you'd roll in, you'd go out clubbing, and then you'd go to work. You'd wake up. And you'd go to work the next day, and you'd be fine. And then you'd roll on, and then the weekend, and then people would be inviting you out, and you'd be like, right, I've got to go.
Every single weekend, without a doubt. Like, I come from a small little town called Tring. There weren't really many places. You could either go to Aylesbury, which is a dodgy place to go clubbing. You go to Watford clubbing or Milton Keynes, which is so far away. So we always ended up having house parties. Everybody in Tring were DJs. Well, tried to be DJs. So everybody was like bringing these decks around. So you always had one of those like typical, what was that TV series? Skins. Yeah. So it was very much like that every single weekend. But we did it all. And then I remember there was one time we were at a house party. I ended up crashing, and then I had to go to work the next day. Now, bear in mind, I was a waitress in an Italian restaurant, opened at breakfast. I think I had to be there at something like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Clocks changed because it was in around this time, so I lost it out. So I think I probably did about 2 hours. All I remember was like my manager at the time was like, let's keep you to the back so you don't have to speak to many customers.
Because you stunk of alcohol. Yeah.
But that was such a good life to live.
But
like, people are missing out.
I think COVID has put the fear into them and also just moved everyone online. Yeah. And they're in this online world, which is scary.
True. But then even my younger sister now, she was just like, I'm not going on dating apps because they're not the sort of men I want to find in as well. She's like looking for that Prince Charming, like riding on a horse somewhere. Or like you bump into somebody, like you said, in a pub or whatever, and they just start talking to you, or you meet someone that's friends of a friend and you just click. I know my therapist kept on saying, don't worry, someone will be out there for you. They will. I was like, where?
But when are they coming?
When are they coming? But even when you go out with friends and stuff, and you go out with like a good girl group, men don't approach you that much anymore.
Well, my problem as well was all my friends are married and all have got kids. So no one actually no one went out. No one goes out. We've all got kids. Like, that's what I'm saying. I actually remember the date that I went out because I wasn't going out.
Yeah, it is mad. So the new addition to your family, was it a shock? Was it a surprise? How did you tell Will?
Will was with me when I did the pregnancy
really?
test. But yeah, I just think it wasn't it wasn't planned. It was, we were shocked, but I just think again, everything happens.
Such a beautiful miracle.
Yeah. And I think
that's so lovely.
babies are blessings. You know, so many people have to go through alternative routes now to have babies. So I'm fortunate that I fell pregnant, and we're just over the moon, and another addition to the family.
Oh, that's lovely. You don't know the gender, but do you know any possible names if you have girls or boys?
I feel like I have got a name, but then that could change. I feel like when the baby's here, you do look at a baby and go, "Ooh."
Really? Do you have that?
Ooh, you don't look like what I had for you.
And then what are you allowed to say?
No, I'm keeping them a secret.
Oh, you are really keeping those a secret?
I love a secret. I love a good secret.
Yeah. Okay, well, what kind of you painted the room at home? Have you kept
Do you know
it all
what? I've actually got, when I say I've got nothing and I've done nothing.
You've done. It's
like
going to be a mad.
It's
someone 24 hours where they're like, get somebody over, paint the room pink.
No, I don't even know. I don't even know where the baby's going to go. Obviously, the first 6 months, baby's in the room. Is going to be with me.
Yeah, fair play. So you don't even need to check. I love this. You are just probably the most chilled, most relaxed.
But again, because what's the point of overthinking it? Because look, I've learned the hard way. Life is not how you want it to be. So let's wait for the baby to get here. Then I can make decisions on what I want to do, where I want the baby to go. If a child wants to share a bedroom with the baby, you know, there's so much to work out. But I'm just not overthinking it, and I'm not sweating it because there's just so much pressure.
Do you feel like after Tom, like you changed the way you were? Like you seem, like I said, you seem very relaxed, very like, we'll deal with it when it comes with it. Like, do you feel like that's kind of changed you?
Yeah, because I've been through the worst thing you could possibly go through, and you can't, and I couldn't change the ending. Yeah. So what's the point of worrying? Like, let's just deal with it. Take each day. And that's what I think I am more of that now. Live for each day and take each day as it comes.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I've started to learn a lot more now to be like, right now, like just stop. Don't worry. Just don't think about it, because I'm always over organised. I want to organise this, like, okay, well, that's happening in 2 weeks' time, so I've got to make sure I sort this, and this out. And now I just go, whatever. Like, I try to be whatever. And I think it's very hard.
People around me now know what I'm like, so they'll be like, before people might get offended and be like, oh, she's not asked me to do this, but well, it's a few days before, then I'll work out what I'm doing and where I'm going. Because I think as well in the job now that things change so quickly, so there's just no point planning.
I love this. Don't know the gender. Potentially know the name, but could change when you see the baby. Like, this is amazing. You've
just got to be chilled in life, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, I love, like, you're so honest and your realness. And you've done a couple of stints on Loose Women. Yeah. Like, do you see yourself doing more of that? Like, I can personally see you. Like, I think Loose Women especially, like, it's not scripted with you, and I love that about
and I feel like I've got a life experience. I've gone through so much, even as a child to where I am now, that I feel like there's loads to give. But I am so lucky with ITV because they're so supportive. Like Lorraine, I've shared so much of my story on there, and I think
she's lovely, right? Like, even as a person, like when you meet, I know like TV presenters and stuff, but when you meet people like real life, they're really like,
Lorraine is the nicest person. And we actually got invited to the Princess of Wales carol concert at Christmas, and I feel like it was a setup for me because we got invited as a family. So me, Will, and the kids went. Well, when I got there, I feel like there was no other children, no other like celebrity rocked up with their kids. I'm like, was this a setup? And we was in the front row with, I mean, I am lucky because the kids are well behaved and have to do a lot. But Lorraine sat opposite me, and that's what she said. Oh my God, your kids are so lovely. They're so well behaved. I was like, Lorraine, I was having a heart attack because they came round with candles as well and was lighting the candles. I was thinking, no one give Aurelia a flame. Literally, I was like, I've got hairspray in.
Yeah, that's the worst, isn't it?
And she had this like velvet outfit on from Zara, and she kept sitting on the chair and just sliding down the chair and then sitting back up, and she was like, Mum, when are we getting an ice cream? Are we going to get an ice cream after this? I'm like, just shush. Because obviously it was a beautiful service, and it was an opportunity because Prince Louis was there. I was like, come on, Aurelia, let's get you in with the royals.
Oh, that's amazing. Two cheeky kids
together,
as well.
Yeah, oh my goodness. But Lorraine, even then, and when I saw her recently, because I went on the show and she was like, she said, oh, your kids, Kelsey? I was like, oh, thanks, Lorraine. It means a lot when it comes from someone else, because they were literally opposite me, and I was like,
are they really good together?
What, my children?
Yeah.
They've only got a 15-month age gap.
Yeah.
So again, everything happens for a reason. Why did I have them so close?
Oh no, me and my older sister 2 years. But we were at that age. We were thick as thieves. We were so good.
And I think it is personality.
And everybody said that to my parents, like, are they like this all the time? They're like, yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
like,
mine. By the end of like this 3-week holiday, they would get on each other's nerves. But to spend that amount of time with a sibling, but she's the boss and he goes along with it. So I think they've got that cemented until he does lose his temper, and she'll then bow down to him because she's very kind and he's an empath. So they work well together, which is so lovely.
That's cute. Yeah, I think the only thing that changed between me and my older sister was like when she went up to high school and I was still at junior school. That's just when it started to rift. But now we're amazing.
But did she feel as well when she went to the high school that she was a bit...
I don't know.
It's that age separation.
I think girls are different as well when you go through hormones and puberty. Like, let's face it, we're not the nicest of people. No. And I think she obviously was there like 2 years before me and she didn't, So.
Were you happy to share each other's clothes and stuff?
Oh, well, she used to always steal my clothes. Like,
and would you let that go, or would you...
No, I think we just steal each other's clothes and then there'd be a huge big bitch fight later on. But it would always be that way. But no, it wasn't too bad actually, to be honest. But no, we didn't really give each other clothes to wear and share that sort of thing. Now Zoe's completely different. But my younger sister, I always ring her up now. It's like, have you got anything I can wear? Like, I need a jumpsuit or something. And she's very good at giving me clothes. And then I would like to give back, but she never asks because she's very independent, my younger sister. So she's like, no, I don't want any of your clothes. I'll make it. She's so good at making clothes as well.
I'll make it. I'll make my clothes.
And then I'm just like, fine, no worries. But then I end up getting a dry cleaner's bill because best wash this because dry clean only. She's like, no, it's fine, thanks. It was dirty to begin with and I have to wash it at the end. So you've got your own podcast. What do you talk about on your podcast?
Well, it's called Mum's the Word, so quite a lot of mummy stuff, which is nice.
It's a good sort of like, I don't dare say the word cult, but in terms of like podcasts and mum influencers, like people go to social media to listen to this stuff.
Yeah, to actually think I'm actually normal. Like, your kid's doing that too. I am normal. Yep, that is normal. Because I think some people portray the perfect life.
Especially on social media.
Yeah, and it's like...
And what is it? Like the calf kits and like kitchen and the perfect bacon and all of that. And
but that is not a reality for some people. It's definitely not a reality in my house. So I talk about that a lot and stories. I mean, Aurelia's actually been on my podcast. She did the Mother's Day special with me. So she's actually done a podcast for you.
God bless. What? She deserves to be there.
But they're at such a funny age, aren't they? Like some of the stuff that comes out of the mouth. Was there any point on the podcast where you're like, don't say that anymore? Or she really good?
Because I embrace the wildness of what she says. She did, even when we fell pregnant, she got into bed with us and she turned around to Will and went, so, it was your sperm.
Are you kidding me? No.
My God.
Where did she get that from?
Because she...
How
do you make babies? Well, you need a sperm and...
Oh, and then she turned around and she said...
She went, so it was yours?
Did he laugh?
He was yes. I think he was so shocked because I don't think he was expecting... that from her.
The first thing.
She's going to be some character.
And I just said to her, when you go into school, don't talk about the sperm. Because can you imagine the rest of the year one mums that are like messaging me, so they're talking about sperm at the moment? That's not my child.
Aurelia's giving them sex education.
I was going to say, do they still do sex ed at school?
I think they do, not in year one though.
I agree.
But also, she'd asked me a question of how, and I think, you have to be honest and open.
Yeah. So none of this special cuddle stuff.
No, that's not real though, is it? And then also, I just think you have to prepare them for the world.
Yeah.
and be very honest and open about things. I mean, my mum is extreme, so I think I'm not extreme as extreme as my mum.
In what way?
Oh, just growing up, the stuff that she's actually said to me over the years of being a child. My mum just said you've got to be honest with them. So if they're asking you questions, you tell them the truth.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, honestly...
I didn't go into the details of how it actually happens, but I just said that a man needs to have sperm, and that's
come on, we need to get rid of, like, a stork drops baby on the lap.
That didn't happen to Mummy.
Oh, so your household sounds very loud, fun, but what is a day like, in your life?
Being me. Yeah, it is. Our house is full of fun and laughter. Right, I just run around after the kids.
Really?
And then try and make some money as well. I think I am fortunate with my job that I can be there and I want to be there for the children. So every school drop-off, pick up that I can be at, I will be there. And that is a priority for me. Yeah. But also I have been left the role of mum and dad and providing for them. And also I really try to stick with what Tom wanted. So he wanted, obviously, the best for the children. So I have actually put them into a private school. So now I'm like, got to pay the fees. Yeah. So it is just juggling mum life, really, with work and everything else.
There was a funny story. So I had to go and pick up my nephew from school. And I don't know what it's like there, but obviously you're in the playground and all the parents are just... Is it like this?
Yeah.
Like, and you're there and you're waiting for your kids. And like, I don't know, like it wasn't like this when I was at school because we kind of just ran out and stuff. But like they all come from like their rooms all in like a line and they all kind of like there until somebody comes forward to get some stuff. So that I was really nervous. As I said to my sister, right, it's definitely the first playground, right? Okay, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. And I get really like, something like this. Okay, God, make sure I pick up the kid. Right, fine. So I turn up there, and then all these kids start coming out, and then all the parents start to dwindle down, and then I'm like, oh my God, the fucking kid's not here. Like, where's the kid? Like, I was like, so I'm ringing my sister. I was like, Leo's not here. Like, what am I supposed to do? And she goes, oh God, not again. I was like, what do you mean not again? Anyways, like a teacher came up to me and was like, who are you looking for? I was like, oh, Leo. And then, do you know what class he's in? God knows. Think he's 9. Don't know about that. But anyways, and Zoe comes running because she only lives quite close. So she comes running down. It was in chess club. Gave me a heart attack, sweating and everything. Like I thought I'd lost Leo. I don't know what happened to him. And it was in chess club. So yeah, I had to drag him out.
Did you just forget to tell you that?
No, he
put himself in chess club.
Oh, he put himself in chess club.
Yeah. And then he goes, sorry, he said, sorry, Mummy. I thought it was Tuesday.
Oh.
Kids. I said, this is what I mean. I think I'd be a really stressed out parent when I
that your sister had got you to pick him up and hadn't told you. Oh, by the way, he's got a club.
No. I did everything correctly. Zoe did everything correctly. It was the kids' fault.
Oh. Yeah.
Anyway,
all else fails, blame the kids.
Yeah.
That's my motto. Wasn't me.
I'm quite impressed that you said they come out in a nice orderly line.
I
remember
really
being at school and it was just
it's like the teachers out in
herd
front.
of elephants just like charging across the playground trying to find their parent.
I know. Like I was trying to remember whenever I go back home, especially around Easter and stuff, you always drive past your old primary school and stuff. Everything seems so much smaller there. But I was like, we walked to school like at one point when we was really young and we lived quite far away, you know, like, but it doesn't seem like you do so much of that anymore. And like parents could just walk in and out the gate. Now it's like, you've got to have a lanyard, you've got to be signed in and all of that. It's kind of, I don't know, scary, especially in London anyways.
Yeah. But the world's changed. It's a different place. That's the moral of this podcast, isn't it? The world's a different place.
I'm homeschooling my kids. That's it. No, God.
Until you have a kid and you're like, absolutely not.
No
That's why I feel like I've like got the bit of the... Because they was at a normal school and then I've got a bit of the... I would love to homeschool.
Yeah.
Just not me personally homeschool them.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. Just us.
Now, you seem like you are super busy all the time. When you do have a 5-minute break, 5-minute piece, if you ever get that, is there one thing that you were just like not ashamed about doing? Just like, oh, this is my 5 minutes. What would it be? It's like, did you ever watch that episode in Sex and the City where Miranda's just like, I love putting Vaseline in some gloves and just sitting there watching crap TV. Is that like, and I think Vogue Williams like said once before, like she likes eating like a meal in her bath. She has like a table over the bath and she eats like a proper meal in the bath. Like I think that's kind of weird. But
that is weird. Vogue,
Yeah.
that is very weird and very random.
Yeah, she loves a bath and it's on her podcast. Like
I couldn't eat
Obsessed.
and I feel like baths like relaxing.
Hot, yeah.
Like, I
get
like
too
a
hot.
red hot
I even
bath.
get stressed out reading a book. I'm worried I'm going to drop it and the pages are going to get wet.
Yeah,
So,
or
let
like the
alone
phone
eat.
near the bath. I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah, occasionally I prop up a Netflix there and I'm watching it in the bath. But I sometimes go, right, you've run the bath, you've got to be in here for at least 15 minutes. And
Yeah.
you just go, oh, I'm going to get out now.
Yeah, and also when I want the bath, it's not peaceful. Again, you're saying 5 minutes. I don't think as a mum you ever get 5 minutes.
Really?
Even if you're doing a poo, someone's in there talking to. You're like, can I just have
God.
a poo in peace?
Yeah.
Or like bath.
I have to admit though, it doesn't change. Like I'm 35 and when I went back to my parents, like I'm always like, Mum, where are you? And she's upstairs. Oh, give me 5 minutes. Yeah, anyways, just got to let you know that this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. And even like, I don't know, she's like, this isn't weird, but they've got a huge bed. And even when I went home, I was like, they have the TV there and she's like, they're watching Good Morning Britain and all of that in the morning. I'm like, oh, I'll just get myself into bed with my mum. I was like, this is like, if anybody saw this, it would be weird, right? Would you think it'd be weird?
No, because I would love to do that.
Okay, so
I-
thanks.
yeah. I feel
Like that
we-
moment.
I feel like
and I
we're
don't
quite
want
similar.
it to ever change.
I feel like when I go back and see my mum, I revert back to how I was like
I know.
when I still lived with her. Like I
Yeah.
always loved doing those things. I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is like I
Is
do
it
the
weird?
same. Like,
I'm
get into
old.
bed. I've got my pajamas on. I'm like, I'll get into bed and have a cuddle with you, mum.
I love it. I love it. But yeah. So what's next for you, Kelsey?
World domination.
World domination. Love it.
I
You're
don't
going
really
the right
know.
way.
Having a happy, healthy baby and
Yeah.
birth and just seeing
When's your
where...
due date?
Actually, Aurelia's birthday, the 30th of June. Really
Oh,
weird.
wow.
And Will and Bodhi have the same birthday.
Okay, well,
Loads of signs.
This
I'm like,
is-
literally,
yeah.
I'm so
God.
spiritual. I'm so like, no,
Yeah.
it is weird. So many
Yeah.
things have like aligned for...
it's good. Because
And
then
numbers
hopefully it'll be a really nice warm summer.
Yeah.
And you won't be pregnant for that because I bet that would be
I'm over
unbearable.
being pregnant as well.
Oh,
I really-
really?
When people love it, I'm like, okay, growing life is amazing, but I don't know how you can love it. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like,
You hear it all the time. People either love it or.
but I feel
leave
like
it.
again now the world's changed so much. You have to sort of be so grateful that you can
Yeah.
have a child and do whatever. But you're a bit like it's the drinking. We went to an all inclusive and everyone was drinking. I was like, well, I'm gonna go to bed. But yeah, I just think the sleep, just everything. I just will be
Just get
happy
over it.
when the baby is here.
And then hopefully they sleep through the night and you'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm winning as a mum. Sleeping
Well,
through
the one thing I would say about the sleep and having a child that you never will regain your sleep again. Like
what do you
it
mean?
just goes. Like you'll never sleep properly again.
Oh, yeah. Well, I used to do overnight on radio. So I used to do my time slot was 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. So I'd wake up at 1 a.m., go to bed at 5 p.m. So, I mean, in terms of sleep, I'm already messed up when it comes to sleep.
Yeah, so you'll
I'm
be
triggered
you
with
will
sleep.
actually
Everybody says, good training. I was like, yeah.
No,
right.
to be fair, you'll be fine then.
Yeah.
Because it is
Yeah.
someone is always up in the night.
Yeah.
Like someone. And now it's either this one inside
Yeah.
or a child waking up, bad dream. They want to sleep in the bed. I've had to like retrain them out of the bed. It's just...
I mean, I have a dog, and when she was a puppy, she was the worst to crate train. Screamed. She was a little Frenchie, and they've got big gobs,
Yeah.
right? Real big gobs. It was like foxes having sex. That's how loud the scream.
Oh,
It's like
gosh.
a pterodactyl. It was like, fuck. I caved in. 8 months. She's in bed with me.
Any
Sorry,
regrets?
whoever
Yeah.
comes in the other
Yeah,
side
that's
of the
what I
bed
was
because they're
going to
fucked.
say. You've got to retrain.
I've got to train her
Yeah.
out of the bed. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyways, that's a future problem, not me. Okay, let's jump into a little bit of showbiz and entertainment. Millie, you're in the hot seat now.
Oh, I feel like there's a lot to talk about, actually.
Is there?
Yeah.
Tell
I
us,
think,
like, what is hot topic at the moment?
Yeah.
Well, what I find interesting is reality TV at the
Love it.
moment and how it's kind of the phenomenon is taking over social media as opposed to people watching full episodes. I don't know about you guys.
Yep.
Like the amount of people I talk to, are you watching this? Have you watched this?
Yeah.
And the answer tends to be, oh, I've seen clips of that on social media. And you...
True.
Like,
Yeah, guilty.
For example, like Celebrity Big Brother, I shouldn't probably admit this as a showbiz journalist. I've not sat...
We won't tell
and
anyone.
watched, yeah, just go out, yeah. I am only really following that through reading about it on social media, but you feel like you can get quite a good picture of what's going on.
Yeah, I'm watching it on TikTok. That's it.
I think for something like CBB, where it's like in a house and there's, I don't know, there's no real structure to that compared to something like Towie and Made in Chelsea, where there's like a storyline as such. So you want to kind of watch it. But with CBB, it's like, I don't know, unless there's something interesting happening there.
What are your thoughts on the CBB?
So I'm seeing a lot about the Chris and JoJo situation.
Yeah,
Talk to me about this. I had to ask my, because JoJo's a lesbian, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
And she's with someone on the outside.
Okay. But it's very cozy with Chris. Like, I saw the other day, her hand was on his leg and stuff, which is very cozy.
I think the vibe, so we've done a few chats at Bauer with the family and friends of people that are in there.
Yeah.
And Jake Quickenden is really good friends with Chris. And he basically said that Chris would just flirt with anyone.
True.
So that is Chris's nature.
Yeah.
So Jake, I think, joked in this interview that Chris would flirt with me. That is just his nature. Also, I think something that I'm hyper aware of, and I don't know if it's because I'm in the industry, I watch things now and I'm like, oh my God, we have not got the full context of that because this has been filmed for 24 hours and we're only seeing an hour.
True.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, people talk about the edit, whether that be the contestants, whether that be family and friends watching who are going, oh, they're not being portrayed this way. And I think it would be naive of anyone watching to go, that is exactly the whole picture, because it's not.
True.
But I think, did you see the clips last night that I think Chris had a bit of a wobble in the diary room? And
I saw
For me, I think that people that, like, I think is it Ella that said that Chris is using JoJo. Why would Chris be using JoJo? What, to bring a hair brand out? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's Chris getting from JoJo to appear on Dance Mums? Like,
Followers?
but the following's completely different. Like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like Chris is this person, and I've met Chris in the past, that he is just a lover of life and people, and he's interested in people, and JoJo is an interesting person. So she's lighting up the room because she's interesting. He wants to know more about her.
Yeah. And
when there's energies there, like they bounce off each other.
And it is energy. And if you're an energy person, like,
well, he was like that with Kem when he was actually in Love Island.
Yeah, because
like,
Kem was interesting.
Because he had a bromance.
And I think there's an element of the nation love an unexpected friendship, or like people. I think everyone was saying about Chris and Ella potentially getting together beforehand, but because it's kind of not gone that way, and instead the focus has been. Well,
I didn't realise that her and Dan broke up. When did they break up? Why? I thought
before she went in there.
Before.
Not that I know that. I don't know Ella personally. I don't know when the breakup happened.
I know, 'cause I'm a bit of a sucker for Towie. Like, I love it. And actually, when you watch their relationship on Towie, Ella and Dan, like, yeah, okay, she's young and she's all about love. Obviously, I'm older and I'm a bit like, fuck, like, that's a bit like, but she was so in love with him and they were so cute, and he was warming, like, actually, like, a lot more loving than he kind of was with Amber. So I was a bit like, I couldn't see that breaking up.
Do you think there's a lot more? Do you think did she think she was going to find love in there?
Oh, this is.
Did she think she was
Whose
going on
decision
Love
was
Island?
it? Was it hers or his?
I think it's been left very bit murky what actually happened. I mean, it's very, at the moment, it's coming across like it was a mutual decision. I also wonder how much impact filming that reality TV show has. So when it comes back to filming Towie, they're going to naturally be shoved into each other's lives again.
Oh, they'll get back together. Dan and Ella will get back together.
We're calling it now.
I
I'm calling it
quite
now.
like them together.
They will get back
really
together.
cute.
And I feel like Dan's a forgiving character.
Yeah.
He's going to forgive whatever she thought she was going to go in and do.
But I think it could just be a bit of a play as well, potentially. Could they have made a pact to be like, okay, let's just break up in case anything does happen.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't get thrown like, oh, what's Dan's opinion? Oh, she's cheating or anything like that. But then I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit of a... Would you do that if you're actually in a relationship and in love?
No, but you do hear
everything you see in Towie is real.
Always gonna be there. No, but you do hear it sometimes when celebs go dating. Like all of a sudden they've broken up from their partner and then they go on celebs.
Well, I think Helen Flanagan was that, wasn't she? Because she actually went on and actually had the boyfriend,
And it was uncovered that she was seeing someone.
and then
while
she had
it was
to bring the
filming.
boyfriend into it. I love Helen though. She's my favourite person
She's fab.
ever. She's the best human. I love her, and she's like, oh yeah.
But also,
Have the boyfriend.
they'll also know that everyone loves a bit of extra drama, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's like, was it Ella Morgan, I think, ended up... It was that scene where I think she'd admitted off camera, I think that she'd slept with someone, and then I think Paul asked her, and she was like, no, and then it unravelled that they did. I think everyone loves those tidbits that happen off screen that then come on. It's just the drama.
It is good, especially with celebs go dating, where you know for a fact that two of the celebs are going to get together.
Yeah.
Always standard, every single
always.
time. But yeah.
Well, they actually spend the more time together, don't
Yeah.
they? So they get to really
Yeah,
know each other when
exactly.
celebs go dating.
Yeah.
And they're the ones kind of doing the digging on, who's your type and how did that date go? So inadvertently, they're getting to know each other.
And what their type is.
Exactly.
Just going back to in terms of like the little clips on social media and stuff like that, do you think it's going to change the way that we watch reality TV or...
And
it's
how's
weird
that
because
impacting TV?
Yeah, I think as well, I don't know if either of you watched The Apprentice.
Love it.
Oh, it's amazing.
I seriously was going to apply. And then they were just like...
What would you want them to invest in? You?
just me.
I am the investment.
Yeah.
No, it would definitely be something to do with creators and social media and stuff like that. Because I thought, no one's done that yet.
Yeah.
But then the guy won with an AC, which actually was very smart because global warming. But did you see his interviews where he was just like, oh yeah, like the world's getting warmer.
Yeah.
And the summer's getting longer. And the guy turned around and was like, cool, what month are we losing then? He was like, yo, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so good. Yeah. Anyways, but no, I loved it until the point that they were just like, oh, you need to spend it like potentially 12 weeks away. And I was like, oh, have I got to live with somebody for 12 weeks? And then
Do they actually live in that house for 12 weeks?
And it's the early
I
morning.
think they do.
They're up at the crack of dawn, aren't they?
They do really get ready within 20 minutes.
Yeah,
And I was like, yeah, can I be asked? And then I was like, oh, but then I'll leave my dog for 12 weeks. And I'd be really upset. Try leaving your kids for 12 weeks.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
saying that, jumping to another TV show, is I watched Stacey and Joe's.
Oh.
And it was when Stacey went into X Factor.
Yeah.
And she'd only just had Zach. And they all, as a family, just stepped in because it's an opportunity, isn't it? I mean, my family
But how
would
long are
do
they
that.
normally
if I-
away for X
a
Factor?
day again, they must have
That-
been 12 weeks in a house.
Because the live shows ran for 3
Yeah.
months.
And they
How do you
and they
forget
are
about
I know.
that?
they
I
were in
couldn't
a
do-
house.
I think living with somebody for 12, like loads of people.
And that's
it wouldn't
with
settle
Celebrity Big
me.
Brother. You think you're all in that
Yeah.
room, people breathing.
Oh God, that bit.
Do you have you got anything with like people chewing and stuff? Like if people, I had to like vet Will when I first met him of how he actually ate because
I am very funny when it comes
Yeah.
to the dinner table. Yeah.
Yeah, if
Knife
they
and
eat-
fork.
bad
There was
or
one
like
of-
chew. Do you know when people are like
Oh no.
and then they touch you and you're like,
Yeah,
can you
no,
just finish your food?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. Or standing up and eating. I had one of those before.
Standing up and eating.
Yeah, like when you go around theirs and stuff, they cook food, and then it's like you don't ever feel kind of settled because they're just like standing around eating, walking. It was
No,
quite
you've
weird.
got to sit and eat. You've got
What
to
so
sit and eat together.
so they've cooked the food and they're stood there eating while stood up.
Oh no.
Weird.
That is that is really weird because you're being invited over for a date.
Yeah, and it was strange. Anyways,
I love the way that we've jumped around.
Yeah.
In that conversation, we've spoken about Stacey.
It's the way to do
Celebrity
it.
Big Brother.
It's the way to do it.
Stacey and Joe, they've got a new show.
Yes. I love this because it's quite rare that you get a BBC slot at 8 p.m. prime time that's reality show, really.
Is it just about their lives?
Literally about their lives, completely unfiltered, in and out of Pickle Cottage. And I think people are loving it because it is, like we said earlier, social media can create such this impression that everyone, as we all know, leading a perfect life. And I think if we're all honest with ourselves, we like to see stuff not going so well because it's that reminder, okay, I'm not on my own here. And I think Stacey and Joe just give you the epitome of this is what normal family life looks like.
Stacey's Instagram is very inspirational and looks quite perfect too.
Yes.
So I think actually seeing the behind the scenes to that.
Exactly.
Because there was a moment where Zach, she'd asked him to clear up and then he wasn't clearing up. And she was like, don't think that because there's cameras in this house, I won't tell you. And I was like, yes, Stacey. Come on, girl. Because that you all, when you start filming something, and I can imagine the pressure. I mean, she's got 3 under the age of 5, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
To get them all to like behave and the pressure as a parent, and then you've got the 17-year-old that's not playing ball. I thought, yeah, because that's actually the reality of life. Because ultimately that is a job for them. They're doing a job.
Yeah, and you can't predict what your family life's going to look like that day. And if it did all look squeaky and rosy and perfect, then viewers are going to be a bit like, oh, it feels false, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think she said on a podcast that had her and Joe not filmed that series, they would have been like passing ships. So I guess you've got that side of it where, yes, you're letting cameras in and that must be so stressful. But also, this is time for us to kind of spend a bit of time together as well. So you've got that side of it.
I think Stacey, anyway, she's, well, and Joe, but Stacey in particular, she's just so unfiltered. And I think that's what's quite nice. You can, obviously, there's some people out there when it comes to like unscripted TV programs, it's still very like, this is too perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one buys into that anymore. I think there was a time when people probably then felt the pressure that, okay, that this is, and now it's like, actually, people like to see those bits that aren't so perfect.
Unless you are the Kardashians and you are watching that.
Yeah, but I love the Kardashians, but I still think when you watch that, it is still very real in some of the bits.
It is, but they have the concept. You have the breakup, the makeup, the glamorous life. That is
also,
it. There's always an issue.
Yeah.
And they're so good at dealing with the issue as a family. But if you're signing up to something, you've all got to be on the same page.
Yeah. But I think also with the Kardashians now, like they're all producers of it. So they go through it all. Because I think Kendall Jenner said, she was just like, what was it? Lamar went to see Khloe. And
she didn't like the way Khloe dealt with it, did she?
Yeah. She was like, oh, you know, as you know that we're producers of the show, I was able to see this episode, so I want to have a sit down with that. But anyways, I love reality TV programs. I think they're the best things ever.
Yeah.
They are. What's coming up? Traitors, Celebrity. I'm glad they're doing a Celebrity. Yeah. Okay. Have you got a rumoured lineup for us?
I'll be honest, I was a little bit sceptical about a Celebrity one. Now, I'll tell you why.
No, I think it would be brilliant.
The only reason is because I think we all love the what we'll call the standard version, and I think that's because it's not one of those shows that people... Yeah,
the standard J blog.
I get what you were saying.
The civilian traitors we'll go for. Because people don't typically use that as a show to go, I'm going to get famous from this. It's just a really... amazing group of normal people with normal jobs that kind of might get a little bit of recognition from it, but otherwise
some of these people off the back of the last one have done well. Harry Clark's done well,
but then
some other one's got podcasts, someone's on the West End. Like, I mean, they're doing very well.
But on a grand scale, if you think about the amount of people that go into it and come away being really recognisable.
You would hate to be killed off in the first night. Like, what?
Oh my God.
I would hate that.
You just think you've probably got all that way, and I'm assuming there's just the volumes of applicants must just be going on.
The process.
And you get that close, and then
from
it's like, you've been killed off on the train on day one. You'd be devastated.
But from the first series to like now, they try and cram in as many people as possible. Like the first one, there wasn't as many as what there were now.
Yeah.
But anyway, talk to us about the Celebrity.
Yeah.
Sorry, we keep going off.
From what I've seen, well, a brief look on Twitter, Alan Carr.
Oh my God, I love him.
But do we think faithful or traitor? Because I could see
He
him
would
being
have
both.
to be faithful because he wouldn't be able to lie. I don't think he would be able to lie.
Oh, let's watch this space.
Yeah. Tom Daly, who I think he would have to be faithful.
No, I don't know. I think he could be a traitor.
I feel like you're the same, that he's going to have to
I
be
think
faithful.
he'll have
I
that
don't think he'd
sweet
have it.
outer persona, and then everyone's like, no, not Tom, not Tom. And then
See,
deep down, he'll be like,
bang.
See, now this is interesting, isn't it? Because we're already speculating based on how we perceive these people. But
Yeah.
yet, it's going to be interesting to see how they match the preconceptions when they're in the house, and what other people think. Like, I think Kate Garraway's another one that's rumoured, and I'd straight away go faithful, but then she could also be a brilliant traitor if she's got a good poker face. So I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting.
yeah, because I think when they go in there, don't they? They have that talk with Claudia, and then they say, you know, what do you want to be? And then you basically say, oh yeah, I want to be a traitor. So it's not like a random pick your traitor and you've got to live with it. So it would be interesting. Is there anybody else?
Jonathan Ross, I think, was on the lineup as well, from what I saw.
Oh, is this just rumoured? Because
Yeah.
that sounds too incredible to have Jonathan Ross and Alan Carr.
I think, though, it's probably... I don't know where you two... I would say it has probably overtaken Love Island in its popularity.
Yeah, I do feel as though that Love Island is dying out, but I will still carry on watching it.
Yes.
Until it dies.
Because you can't... But again, that's
But
one
I did
that's-
prefer the All-Stars, Love Island
I love
All-Stars.
All-Stars, yeah.
Oh, see, I'm not so much.
Oh, no, just the normal one.
I really like the normal
But
one.
I feel like you've grown over the years to know these people, and you
Yeah.
follow them on
So
Instagram,
true.
and you want them to
and
go
you want
back
them to
on.
get their happy ever after, depending
True.
on how much you like them.
And there's always some story, because they always meet each other. And
Yeah, and
you
there's
know
always
what-
like the
Yeah.
text. Oh, I've seen the text.
I've seen-
We
Yeah,
all want to see
yeah,
the text.
yeah.
But with traitors as well, I think that for the likes of like Alan Carr and people like that, there's only so many shows that they'll actually do. And I feel like what you're
Yeah.
saying is Traitors is pretty up there. And it's a game show, isn't it?
Yeah. But did you see who was on the American one? They have some massive stars on there.
Chrishell?
Like Chrishell.
Yeah.
Chrishell. Massive stuff, Chrishell.
She was on there. And then, what's his face? Tom for Vanderpump Rules as well. So that was...
Sue did the American one as
Yeah.
well.
Did she?
She did.
Mate, she's making dollar at the moment, isn't she?
She certainly is.
Oh, but yeah, no, I think that would be interesting. But I see where you're coming from. Like, we do like the civilian one.
Yeah, not the standard. That
Because
feels a
we
bit
don't know
like you're
who
knocking
they
them-
are, whereas we
Yeah.
know the celebrities, so we know their personalities. Well, if we know them. But still,
But I think it will then just hype up the excitement even more. I think they've already renewed the civilian one for the next series.
Civilian
I'm
one.
going to keep
This
saying
isn't
I'm
the right
I'm
name,
gonna-
but
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna go
say
with
we're
it.
going to rock and roll with it. It feels just a lot kinder than standard.
Yeah.
And I think that will
Standard
then
one.
amp up the excitement. And I guess the only thing I would say is the more series you do naturally, I think probably like we've seen with Love Island, you have to have those twists. You have to have those format shifts just to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, that's while I will 100% be there every night at 9 watching Love Island, I think you do need those new elements to
though,
it.
for
what
that
I'm
sort
saying,
of
that
reality, you have to.
With the All-Stars, I just think now, the normal one, it's all my eggs are in your basket. They say the same thing. And I'm over it. Whereas that, what I'm saying, with the All-Stars, we know them, we're familiar. And it's like, oh, I want to see more of that person. Or when they come back, you know, Luca, when he's come back this time, the first time he had such bad like press, didn't he? And then he's come back and it's like, he's reinvented himself and...
Oh, no, I agree. And then, you got to see his sensitive side at the very beginning as well, because he got all a bit emotional and then all of a sudden
They need to
Grace
bring all
comes
the
in.
couples back.
Yeah.
And join them
Like,
into Temptation Island.
Yeah, that's it. Be like, what's life really like for you now?
Yeah, I know. But the one thing that hasn't changed format, Apprentice, and that's still going, and it's going to be like the 20th one next year. Do you think that's just going to stop soon? Because surely, like 20
No, because you still want to go on it.
No,
so.
I don't. No, I literally, I got accepted, and then I had to go into the interviews, and I went, oh, this is too much ag. I'm not doing it. So
Do you
I
have any
made it through
regrets
into
about
the
that, though?
first round, second round,
And then it was,
and then I went,
Do you think you'd go again though?
no, because it's too reality.
Do you think?
Yeah.
How do you feel about people that comment upon edits that they get given?
But that's why I would say it's too reality.
because
of that. Like I did way back when I did Take Me Out, right? And my date was edited really badly because I said I didn't like the guy. So they gave me a shit date. They gave me like loads of shit edits, and then off the back of it I had so much hate throughout the whole thing. People loved me. Went on a date because I said I didn't remember what the guy's name was. I didn't really like him, so they gave me snorkeling for a date and all of that. And then I was like, obviously back then my face paints a picture that I didn't want to be on this date. And they were like, brilliant, edit, really bad, really bad. And they're like, fuck yeah, this is brilliant TV.
Yeah, I think anything like going into Big Brother though, you're giving someone else the reins of it, aren't you?
this is it.
Yeah.
And not whole stories of conversations, or there was another bit that was added there that then wasn't shown. And I think you are getting more and more of this.
Back in the day, you could watch Big Brother 24/7.
Yeah, on the live stream.
Mm-hmm. But there is still live stream from this, isn't there? Cause
I think so, just not the full
on
day.
TikTok, people are like, "Oh, I heard this on the live stream." I'm like, "What have they heard of the live stream?"
That's a mad.
Because then that can't get not taken out of context, but that is as it happened, and you can't really argue that. Can
But
you?
I just think like Big Brother back in the day, anything like that, it's just that's the authenticness. That's what we fell in love with. Like. And people like Alison Hammond went on it and was like the second person to be chucked out, and now look at her career. It's just, you know, even Kate, the likes of Jade Goody that went in there and just. And
then we even had some mad iconic moments. Like, do you remember? I don't know who it was, but having sex in the hot tub. I think I'm pregnant. Do you not remember that one? Do you not remember that? Yeah, she was just like, I think I'm pregnant. Like, and then the guy turns around and was like, we didn't have sex in the hot tub, but if you think that you are, then go and...
What was that? Makosi was it?
Something like that, yeah. And then there was one, wasn't there, with that wine bottle? But
that's what I was going to say.
That was a...
Kenga in the wine bottle.
I couldn't believe that sort of shit was like allowed to be on TV when you think about it now.
Yeah, I think a lot has changed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you probably both watched...
because they're not allowed to drink as much.
Yeah,
but
but
I
also
would
as well,
love to see them drinking more.
I think there are the 2016 series with Gemma Collins and Tiff.
Best.
That is what TikTok throws me out all the time, and I still watch it.
And it is hailed as being the most iconic series, which, like, in my eyes, it really is. I remember being hooked.
And it was Megan McKenna in that one.
Yeah.
Megan was on the
And
show.
she was
talking about it.
She was having the biggest breakdowns ever.
And this is it. And it's things that you all... I remember when she argued with John, and I think someone made a Twitter account for her vein that was going to pop in her. And I'm like, oh my God, that girl was in the middle of having such a, like you say, a breakdown. Would they air that now? I'm not sure. I think there'd be a lot.
She was hungry. Megan's problem is Megan was hungry.
She
the
didn't
whole
just want
time
her
she was
mashed
just
potato.
hungry. She was like, this is shit. I can't eat and I'm hungry. Yeah. So someone feed me. I would be like that though.
I'm the worst
hanger.
Oh, the worst hanger.
Yeah, she just didn't want their mash. She said, I can't just eat mashed potato. I think that was her problem. I thought, no,
and it was when she comes in and Steph's been in the clothes. But things like that would annoy me. Like, why are you getting in the swimming pool with my clothes on? Like, I got pushed in. I was like, no. You're wearing my clothes.
Yeah.
I would lose my shit. Yeah.
And I'm claustrophobic, Darren.
The whole thing.
That was lockdown, wasn't it? Everyone was doing.
Oh,
just Gemma Collins.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
She's
it's like,
I
can't live like this.
Yeah,
I can't live like this. And I'm like, yeah.
And Tiffany's just done loads of interviews, isn't she? She said about when she gave her the shoes. Now she was like, "Oh my God, they were like Chanel," and I was so happy. And then, like a few days later, she was like, "I want the shoes back. Someone needs to get me the shoes back."
I remember Gemma choosing. She could either get herself a blow dry. Do you remember this? Or it meant if she got her blow dry, the rest of the house would be without it. I can't remember what they'd be without.
Hot water,
didn't get
probably.
hot water. That was it. And
she got
said,
a blow dry.
I can't. Yeah, and I thought, do you know what? Fair.
I can't have my blow dry. I need it.
But God, the producers that year, it must have just been.
Oh, they were
like
winning.
rubbing their hands.
But when they're in it, they must not see it, and then it's after. And they must look back now, those that worked on that show, and was like, wow, we produced. But it is, so again, amazing. Who you're putting in there.
Yeah. And do you think we're ever going to get, you think with social media, probably yes, are we ever going to get a series like that again? Or is it just, and is that because we are in a different time? And is it because people want new formats. It's a really tricky one.
I think that's why Traitors was so incredible and it shot off so quickly, because you almost had the essence of like the reality every single day in there, but it was a show as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Quick one just to wrap up the showbiz and entertainment. So there was a lot of discussion about Zara McDermott and Louis Tomlinson. They're actually officially together, because there was talks that Zara was like, oh, I'm just filming something with the family, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, they're together.
Do you know what I was obsessed with? The little hints. Like, did you see that people picked up that she was with him because his tattoo was visible in an Instagram story?
I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
Oh my God, like, I would say...
How did that... What was it her photo, his arm?
So she had taken a photo of their brunch, and... I mean, when I tell you his arm was the tiniest portion of the photo, and eagle-eyed fans had just gone, "That's Louis' tattoo."
Yeah, but she slowly dropped that in. That was soft
and they
launching.
they both shared separate clips from the same Stereophonics gig, and I'm like, oh, this is all the definition of soft launch, isn't it? Like those little teasers, but it's not soft, because you've got Louis, who is. Obviously, the One Direction fans are just...
This is what I was going to say. I was married to someone who was in a band. The fans and the girls, I absolutely adore them because they knew everything. The girls would tell me stuff and I'd go, well, what's happening? Like, what have you found out? And I actually knew the boys, and I'd be like, oh. Right.
And this is just from what they're... Because they home in on everything, don't
they?
They
know everything and they see everything. But for me... Now, I am so grateful for that, because actually clips and stuff they've got of Tom, they like put little bits together for me, and I'm like so grateful. But they know and see everything. So if Zara was trying to keep it secret, you are never going to for the fans, because they are hardcore.
So it's definitely confirmed? I mean, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
No, well, the pictures
They're kissing in the car park.
Yeah. So,
they've
gone from subtle, not so subtle Instagram stories to kissing in a car park.
Do you think it's going to last, though? They're very quite different.
Yes.
Aren't they?
I want to know more about like the origins and how that came about.
Get them a reality TV show.
Yes.
We want to know why, how. Give us more. We need more.
I love that. So I'll read it out for you now. So the dilemma goes, I recently got out of a 4-year relationship that I generally thought was going to be my forever. For the last 8 months of it, something shifted between us. Nothing huge or dramatic, but this slow, steady drift that I couldn't seem to fix. We finally had that conversation and it just ended. That was 5 months ago, and I still feel completely lost. It's like I don't know who I am without the relationship. My confidence is super low. I'm constantly overthinking what I did wrong. And even a part of me knows it needs to end. Another part of me keeps hoping he'll come back and say it's a mistake. I'm not sure how to move forward. Everyone keeps saying I need to focus on myself, that time will heal, but I still feel stuck. Like I'm living in the past and can't seem to step into what's next. How do you actually let go of somebody you thought was your future? And what do you do when it's been months and you're still not over it? Ooh. First of all, we've all been there in one way or another. What was your advice?
Well, I think that you need to focus on yourself. And the more that you're not bothered, the more he will be bothered if there's a chance of them actually ever getting back together. But I think as well, you sometimes just grow apart.
You do.
Do you know who I'm obsessed with? You know, Mel Gibson. Is it
okay,
Mel Gibson?
Where are we going with this?
Not Mel Gibson. What's her name? What's her name? I need to have her name.
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins. Mel Gibson.
I was thinking, the American actor.
Yeah,
Mel
no,
Gibson.
yeah. Also, I am obsessed.
That's where my brain went.
I am obsessed with Mel Gibson too.
I was like, where are we going with this?
I am obsessed with Mel Robbins.
Oh, she's amazing.
For the let them, and also what she says is when you're out of a relationship, she said it takes. She's saying 30 days that their imprint will be within you. And then after 30 days, then you'll slowly like can move on. But 30 days, you're actually still stuck in that relationship and that person and doing everything. And I think what's so hard, they've been together for so many years, is actually learning life without that person. Obviously, I have been through that, but in a completely different way of, you know, Tom died, but it's who you are as that person. Like, me and Tom did everything together. He was my best friend. Like, now would be texting being like, oh, I'll be home at this time, what we having for dinner? Like, I think that is so tough when you're with someone. And also, you know, it's if he's not into her as much and he's left, it's
something like, just, you know, I mean, for the last 8 months of it, something was shifting. Like, that's a long old time to not kind of address what it is. And exactly what you said. I mean, I've been in a 4-year relationship before, and like near the end, I mean, bear in mind I was very young, like it was like the first love and stuff, but near the end of it, you just go, just don't love you anymore. Like, cool. But a hell of a long time to kind of get over that person. And then still to this day, you can be like, oh yeah, I remember when James and I did this. So they're still there. They're never not gonna go.
And I do think it's depending on who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Like, you probably get to the point you're like, oh, you can switch off and you're done. Yeah. Other people can't. And they're like, want that person. But then I think for a man as well, that if you want them, they don't want you. It is that sort of like...
But the wording of that very much implies that she had a feeling it was coming to an end, because she said there was a shift. And I think this is something quite basic, but if she's having second doubts or thinking about second thoughts or thinking about getting back with him, she needs to maybe remind herself, okay, there is a reason why we ended, and it's really hard to shift your mindset to that. But instead of thinking the what ifs, think about, hang on, we ended for a reason. But also I think it's allowing herself to have those moments to go, this feels really shit, and to have a bit of a wallow, but then not to spend too long in it, and surround yourself with the people that make you feel good, because it is about rediscovering, not rediscovering who she is, but
finding herself, because you become that person with someone. You need to know who... I had to find out who Kelsey was. Like, now, mum Kelsey of 2 children, that is a widow. Who am I? What do I want to do with my life? Where do I want to go? Like, you have to focus on yourself. And I think not in a selfish way, but you do have to put yourself first. Like, forget about him. Get out there. Get on the dating apps.
But also, it sounds so cliched and like such bog standard advice. Find a new hobby. What interests you? Forget about anyone else. Like, find that thing that's going to make her tick, that's then going to make her want to get out of bed. That sounds really deep, but you know what I mean? That find something that's going to give her that oomph back.
True. They do say, like, when women go through breakups, you'll be there with like a Harvard degree, a scholarship, you name it. Like, like, just do something different and something new. But I also do completely relate to what you were saying, like that you have to go back to the reason why you did break up in the first. I think we all have that. It's like that withdrawal, that sort of addiction. And like, even like through the period that I went through of not dating anybody for like a year and a half, I was like, oh yeah, but I could just...
Because you're not putting yourself in a good position either, because you sort of then feel like...
for a quick fix of like
love,
attention.
of being like... And I think us women, we don't think the same as men.
No.
End of. How we think. And it's so funny, because I'm now watching it with the younger members of the family, and like when they're going on dates and that, I'm like, the whole problem is we don't think the same. So like men, we all jump into a relationship and they'll give, like, they want to see us and do whatever, and us girls are like, oh my god, I'm in love and this is my future, we're going to get married and have babies.
That's
and
just how
we
we've
forward
been
think
trained.
until they then are a bit like, well, I'm having all that now, I want to go to these other, I want to do my hobby and go here. And I think when you get into a relationship, I think you have to straight away, you have to accept the person for who they are. And you have to be cemented with who you are.
100%.
And that's what they always say about, you just can't be in a codependent relationship, because if, God forbid, one of them like breaks off or whatever, then it's just, you're left on your own and you have to support yourself again and all of that. And I think that's the hardest. I've always been very like independent, sometimes hyper independent.
Yeah, and then they don't like, and then some men don't actually like that as well, because that you're
confident scared.
Yes, but I do think you need to go into that with that sort of attitude, because, you know,
I even had one person on a date say to me, and he goes, I think men get scared of you because you're quite independent and like confident. I was like, Okay.
Should I tell you what you
Thanks.
need?
Oh
You
my-
need a Will who's literally so laid back that it's literally over his head.
Calm.
He doesn't overthink anything. If I'm doing something, he's like,
then
yeah,
has-
go on then. Go on.
Has that guts to branch out.
Yeah, and also I think
that.
you have to accept, like, he goes and does his own thing. Go and do your own thing. Have a
Yeah.
lovely time.
yeah.
I do my own thing, you do your own thing. And
that's
me
the
and
best.
Tom were very much like that.
Yeah.
You know, Tom was in the band. I had to accept so much. Like, oh, I'm off going.
But then
I'm
you
going to America
also-
for 3 months.
All right,
Sweet,
so
all right,
yeah.
yeah.
But then you also have to be, I mean, in such a solid relationship to not worry or anything like that.
Well,
for
my
you.
friends used to always say
Yeah.
to me, you're the only person that could actually be with a
'Cause
pop star.
Yeah.
But I just think if they're going to cheat on you, that's your worry of someone cheating, because I know a lot of girls, you know, they're, oh my God, like Tom did not need to be in that band to go and cheat on me. He could have literally gone to the local Sainsbury's and cheated on me. Like, you do not
I
need
always
to
say
be.
that if they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat. There's
Yeah.
no point trying to
Exactly.
control it either way.
And don't worry about it.
Yeah.
She needs to just not worry. Don't worry. Be
Yeah.
don't worry.
Take
Just
every day
chill
as it comes.
out.
Yeah.
So ultimately, just
Get some crystals.
get some
And get
And a
some
hobby.
rose quartz.
Sports.
And that's it. You've got to go out and, oh no, what's another good crystal for, like, finding? Yeah, she needs to get like a love crystal and make herself feel great again.
Yeah.
do you do that manifesting and stuff?
Oh yeah,
I used to do that. I used to journal quite a lot.
yeah. You
But
have to
then-
put it out to the universe.
No,
It'll come
actually,
back
in
to
all
you.
fairness, I did journal, and then I got some of them. I was like, oh, this shit's good. But then, after a year and a half, I kind of was just like, oh no, I'm all right. I mainly did the journaling for the anxiety at night time. Like, it really helped.
A bit of like a brain dump.
And then
on
all
the
of a
page.
sudden now I just need to watch half an hour of Netflix and I'm out cold. Like, before it was like I couldn't sleep. Now I'm like, oh, I don't need to do it. It's all good. But yeah.
Maybe that's another one, journaling then.
Journaling. Yes. Journaling got me through so many breakups.
She needs to manifest her perfect man, and you will come to her.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Ladies, thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
so
me
much.
on this episode of Getting Lippy. Follow us on all of our socials and stay in tune with all of the new bits coming soon. Bye.